آلك وصحبك الطيبين الطاهرين ومن تبعهم واقتفى آثارهم وعلينا معهم إلى يوم الدين آمين. Ibad Allah, may Allah bless you. May Allah bless these sincere faces before you. May Allah Ta'ala reward you for showing an effort to be in His house today. Ibad Allah, I advise myself and I pass that advice to my beloved brothers and to my dear sisters to show taqwa before Allah, fear and obey Allah, abiding by His command. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. O you who believe, fear Allah the way He deserves to be feared, and die not except in a state of Islam. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. O you who believe, fear Allah and aim for the best of saying. يصلح لكم أعمالكم. He will make best of your makings. ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم, and He will forgive all your shortcomings and your sins. ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. And he who shows taqwa before Allah and His Messenger is assured a great win. Ibad Allah, I would like to share with you today an old and a new topic. A topic that is continuously renewed and never ends. And perhaps it is the ultimate goal behind or from all what we're doing today, which is how to achieve a cleansed and a revived heart, a worshipping heart, a submitting heart, a heart that beats, alhamdulillah, a heart that beats the remembrance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in the hadith, إِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً. In this body there is a chunk or a lump of meat. إِذَا صَلُحَتْ, if it is good, صَلُحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ, the whole body will be good. وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ. If it is bad, if it's spoiled, the result is the whole body will be spoiled. And nothing, I mean nothing with my little knowledge will fix this little heart except one thing. Wallahi, sincerity, ikhlas. Nothing will fix this heart except ikhlas, which is a spiritual type of worship. Ikhlas is a spiritual type of worship. And wow, how much us, Ahl Da'wah, Ahl Dhikr, the people of Masajid, the people of Islam, the people of Iman, how much we need to practice and continuously try how to achieve such worship and how to practice on such worship. Ikhlas. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He judges us, He does not judge us based on the quality and the sum of our doings, but rather based on the quality and the genuinity of our makings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the sunnah of Allah in all His creation. Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَنْظُرُ إِلَىٰ أَجْسَامِكُمْ وَلَا إِلَىٰ صُوَرِكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not look at your bodies and at your pictures. وَإِنَّمَا يَنْظُرُ إِلَىٰ قُلُوبِكُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at your hearts. And this is the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He ordered us to worship Him sincerely. And the people before us, in Surah Al-Bayyinah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed the people of the book and He says, وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ حُنَفَاءَ. And they were not ordered but to worship Allah sincerely, seeking nothing but the face of Allah ta'ala, and to perform salah, and to perform يقيموا الصلاة ويؤتوا الزكاة, to perform salah and also to pay their charities and meet their dues when it comes to zakat. In another ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Ghafir says, هو الحي, He is the lively one. لا إله إلا هو فادعوه. There is no God but He. So worship Him. مخلصين له الدين. Worship Him sincerely. Worship Him sincerely. And because He is Halim, Wallahi He is Halim. He is forbearing. He is all wise. The command, He said, the ayah speaking about a state of worship. Worship me sincerely. It is not speaking about a type of worship. It is speaking about a state of worship. Not a kind, not a type. He's saying, worship me sincerely out of His hilm, out of His wisdom, out of His mercy. Because had He said, يا أيها الذين آمنوا أخلصوا, if He had said, O you who believe, be sincere, it would have been a burden on us. None of us is sincere. But He did not say that. He said, worship me sincerely. Because if He says, be sincere, that's a command. That's an order. And we have to follow this order as a servant. If He said, worship me sincerely, worship me is the command. And sincerely becomes an advisory command, if I may. It becomes an advice. If you want to worship me, might as well do it sincerely. So you can get the reward from this worship. Worship me sincerely. That's out of His mercy. Ikhlas. And Allah, what is ikhlas? What is ikhlas? Ikhlas in Arabic from khalasa. From khalasa, which is to pure, to cleanse, to cure, to detach, to separate. That's by language. And by definition, ikhlas is to stabilize, to equilibrate the inside of oneself with the outside, and to rid it from lying and from hypocrisy. This is ikhlas. And to define it even more, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed unto us a small surah. A surah called Surah Al-Ikhlas. Every Muslim on earth knows this surah. And for you who know the tajweed of Quran al-Kareem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made this surah almost with very little tajweed rules. It has no tajweed rules. So Arabs, non-Arabs, and everybody can say it and it will come out of their mouth easily. It has one or maybe two rules that actually you don't need to know because they just come out naturally. There is no rule in it. But there is something interesting about it. He said, this surah, if you recite it 3 times, or you who doesn't speak Arabic, or who speaks Arabic, who has more burden on him, it is the reward of reciting the whole Quran. Allahu Akbar. If you recite it 3 times, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ اللَّهُ الصَّمَدُ لَمْ يَلِدْ وَلَمْ يُولَدْ وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. You have the reward of 3 times of the Quran. And then, if you look at this surah, there is no word ikhlas in it. Where if you look at all the surah in the Quran al-Kareem, Surah Al-Baqarah has the word Baqarah in it. Surah Al-Imran has Al-Imran in it. Surah Al-Nisa, it starts with the Nisa. Surah Al-Nasr, the last ones, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ. Surah Al-Nas, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ النَّاسِ. Surah Al-Falaq, قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Surah Yunus, it speaks of the cleansing. Surah Ibrahim, every surah has the name. But this surah does not have. It doesn't say. But it says something. It defines. It is called Sifat al-Rahman. It is the adjective of the Rahman. It tells you it is He, Allah, the One, the Only, the Eternal Refuge, As-Samad. As-Samad is the one who people run to Him when they are in need. As-Samad, the Eternal Refuge, who never begets and nor begotten. and no one is comparable or co-equal to him. That is Allah. This is his adjective, and he's saying to you, my servant, everything you do, you are doing with this ilah, with this God. Everything you do must be done sincerely for this ilah. It has to be done for this sincerely, and not only worship. Everything in life. A worker, when he works, he must perform his work in the best form and shape for the sake of Allah. Sincerely, for the sake of Allah, Al-Wahid, Al-Ahad, Al-Fard, Al-Samad. A teacher, when he teaches, he should pass the knowledge, not for the sake of making money, perhaps it's a means, but for the sake of passing a knowledge for the sake of Allah. A mother and a father, when they raise their child, they should raise him a Muslim, a decent human being, for the sake of spreading peace on this universe, for the sake of making our offsprings the best Khalifa on earth, for the sake of Allah. Everything we do should be for the sake of Allah. But permit me this, there was a Sahaba. He used to recite, and sometimes he used to be the Imam with the Ashab al-Kiram, and every time he recites a surah, and then at the end he concludes with Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad, and he finishes. Every time. Something that the Ashab al-Kiram did not hear from Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Not that they object, but how come every time you recite, you say Al-Fatiha, you say Surah Qasira, you say whatever you say, and then at the end you recite Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad. In the second rak'ah you do the same thing. So they went to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and they told him, and he asked him, he said to him, why are you doing this? He said to him, because this is Sifatul Rahman. I feel this is the adjective of Allah. And I love this surah. And I feel optimist when I recite it. And I like to recite it. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said to him, Al-Maru ma'an ahab. You are with he who loves. A person is with him with whom he loves. A person is with whom he loves. Everything we do is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this life, not only the worship. And based on that, some scholars said, worship, ikhlas, sincerity is half of worship. But when we look that everything we do is for the sake of Allah, other scholars they said, and it makes lots of sense, that everything you do is for the sake of worship. Everything. And ikhlas has a place. The place of ikhlas, the actual spring where sincerity comes from, is the heart. Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, may Allah be pleased with him. May Allah be pleased with him. May Allah be pleased with him and all the Ashab al-Kiram. He said, Ta'ahad qalbak. That's it. Monitor your heart. Monitor your heart. Monitor your heart. You know when you drive a nice car, you're constantly looking at the engine lights. Check engine. Because if this engine fails, everything will fail. He said, monitor your heart. If you see somebody have a beautiful house, and a beautiful car, and lots of wealth, and your heart shakes, monitor it. Why is it good? Monitor your heart. Every day, monitor your heart. Why is your heart doing this? If you feel like you are not into doing the salah, if you're not into doing the worship, if you're not into paying your zakat, monitor your heart. Monitor constantly your heart. There's something wrong. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, and taught us in the dua, Ya muqallib al-qulub, thabbit qulubana ala dinik. And he told us that the heart is in between the two fingers of the Rahman. Bayna isba'i al-Rahman. Turns them. He turns it whichever he likes. The heart continuously flipping. And that's why it's called qalb. Qalb in Arabic means to flip. And it means the main core. So it has two meanings. It means the main core and it means to. So if you want to call it a flipper, call it a flipper. It continuously flips. And Sayyidina Umar said, monitor your heart. You're doing something. Why am I doing it? What is the motive that made me do it? What am I thinking while I'm doing this speech? What am I expecting from it? All the WH words that you want to ask yourself. Why? The only why with the intention of correcting and fixing. Because if you ask yourself why, and you know why, and you don't fix, then it's a burden. Then becomes like the people of the book when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses and says, مَثَلُهُ كَالْحِمَارِ يَحْمِلُ أَسْفَارًا, like a donkey carrying the weight. Otherwise, you're not doing anything about it. If you want to have a hotline with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want to have a good channel with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you want to have a continuous, healthy relation with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, monitor your thought. Fix it. I'm not saying that we don't make mistakes. We sin. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a tawwab. When He's a tawwab, so we can sin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive us. However, the difference between a mu'min, a believer, and a person who is not a believer, some people have their heart on the loose. Whatever the heart does, they don't even question the heart. They don't even monitor their heart. Monitor the heart. Otherwise, wallahi, there are people that do hasanat and do work and do worship days and nights, but they have bad hearts and it helps them not. Zero. 2 people stay in the salah. 2 people. They stand and they say, Sa'adayka wa labbayk ya Allah. Allahu Akbar. Sa'adayka wa labbayk, all the pleasure and all the obedience be to you, O Allah. One gets accepted because his heart is clean. And one does not get accepted because he said it by his tongue only. And his heart did not mean any of it. And for that man, the angels will say to him, La sa'dayka wa la labbayk. No pleasure and no obedience is accepted from you, and here's your salah is back to you. May Allah Ta'ala protect us from that. Prophet Muhammad warned us continuously. He said, don't be like those who would come on the day of judgment, and they have hasanat, they have a'mal, they have lots of work, like the Jabal of Tumama, like a huge mountain in that place, in that region of the world. He says to them, but then when they come, they will see that mountain like dust in the air, nothing. They said, "Tubsifhum lana ya Rasulullah." Describe it to us. He said, they're people like you. They pray like you do, and they get up in the night like you do. But whenever they have a chance of committing haram, whenever they get a chance, they do it with no guilt. They have no fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In another hadith that you all know, the 3 people who went into the cave and the cave locked onto them, and these 3 people from the people of the book, they're from Bani Israel, they said, "Oh Allah, we will ask you by one good things we did for your sake." And the first one, you all know the story, he said, "I stopped from doing zina, from haram for your sake. If that's true, move that rock." And he was moved. And the second one, he was good to his parents for the sake of Allah. If Allah is that's good, then move that rock, and he would move. And the third one also gave the employee who worked for him fully his right. And Allah, he said, if that was good, move that rock, and that rock was moved, and the cave was open. That is sincerity. Otherwise, you'll be doing it, and you will get nothing out of it. In Surah An-Nisa, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a beautiful ayah. Every time I read it, I love to keep saying it and saying it. He says, وَالَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ أَمْوَالَهُمْ رِئَاءَ النَّاسِ. And those who spend their money for the sake of praise by people. وَلَا يُؤْمِنُونَ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ. They do not believe in Allah, nor they believe in the day of judgment. وَمَنْ يَكُنْ الشَّيْطَانُ لَهُ قَرِينًا. And whoever chooses to have shaitan to be his companion, he chose فَسَاءَ قَرِينًا. He chose the worst of companions. But then he said, وَمَاذَا عَلَيْهِ? And what harm will it do them? لو آمنوا بالله واليوم الآخر, had they believed in Allah and the day of judgment, وَأَنفَقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَهُمُ اللَّهُ, and they spent from that which Allah has sustained them with, وَكَانَ اللَّهُ بِهِمْ عَلِيمًا, and Allah knows all, and Allah is the best of rewarders. Had they not, they're spending anyway. You're doing it. You're losing the money. If you do it for the sake of Allah, Allah knows. And if you don't do it for the sake of Allah, also Allah knows. Also, Allah knows. I'm going to just include a couple little stories also to inspire us today, because I need it more than you do. As a story about one of the worshippers, a poor worshipper from the people from Bani Israel, he heard that his qawm, his people are worshipping a tree. Furious for the sake of Allah, he took his axe and he went and he wanted to cut that tree. On the way, Iblis, he just stood in his way. He tried to stop him, physically tried to stop him. He could not. But then Iblis thought, and he said, maybe I should try another approach. This man is too strong. He went to him and he said, look, if you stop, I will put 2 coins of gold under your pillow every day. So the man, being poor, he fell for that trap. And he went and he stopped. And sure enough, the next day, 2 coins. And the following day, 2 coins. And then 2 coins. But one day he opened it, left the pillow. There was none. He was furious. He took his axe and he went back to cut that tree. He was mad at Iblis. But this time, when he went, Iblis stood and blew at him. He fell. He fell. He couldn't. And he told him, the first time you were doing it for the sake of Allah, I could not do it. But now you are doing it for your sake, for the sake of 2 gold coins, and for that I was able to go at you and destroy you in no time. A hadith I would ask myself to memorize, all my brothers to memorize, all of us to memorize. It is called the hadith of Niyyah. It is in the first 40 Nawawi hadith. Every Muslim, if not memorized it, should know it. Should know it by heart. It is narrated by Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, and his hadiths are very little. When the Muhajirin left from Mecca to Medina, one person left also as a Muhajir, but he left for the sake of a woman that he loved. Her name was Qais. He left. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ knew. When he knew, he said a hadith and he said, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّةِ. Actions are by the intentions. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. And for every person, he will be rewarded as he intended. فَمَنْ كَانَتْ هِجْرَتُهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ وَرَسُولُهُ. He who is migrating for the sake of Allah, then indeed he will get the reward of migrating for the sake of Allah. And he who is migrating for the sake of money or a woman to get married to, then his migration is for whatever his sake is. This is it. And the first people that the fire, they will be the fuel of fire in Jahannam. May Allah protect us all. May Allah help us all. Is a Hafiz. He remembered, he memorized the Quran. But on the day of judgment, he would say, oh Allah, I remember the Quran. He say, throw him in hellfire. You remember that you memorized it for the sake of people say to you, you are a Hafiz. And it was said, you got what you deserve. And the second one, oh Allah, I am a mujahid. I'm a person who fought for your sake. No. You did it so people will say he is brave, he is strong. He is a knight, he is whatever he is. And it was said, throw him in hellfire. And the third one, he will say, oh Allah, I can't think of the third one. And a wealthy man, he spent money for the sake of Allah. He said to him that you were given the money so you can. So people will say about you, you are a wealthy man, you are a generous man. And it was said, throw him in the hellfire. The last thing we want to do is do this to ourselves. We know all these stories, we know all these wisdoms, we know all these things, and we know that we need to work on our motor, on our engine. We need to clean it. We need to take all the rust out of it. It can only be taken by trying to be sincere, being close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as much as we can. الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَتَطْمَئِنُّ قُلُوبُهُم بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ أَلَا بِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ تَطْمَئِنُّ الْقُلُوبُ. Those who believe and their heart find peace and contentment with the remembrance of Allah, surely by the remembrance of Allah, the heart will find peace. Oh Allah, you granted us Islam and we did not pray for it. Ya Rabbi, you granted us Islam, we did not pray for it. Ya Rabbi, we granted us Islam out of your mercy, we did not pray for it. Do not deprive us Jannah, and we are praying for it. Ameen. Astaghfirullah wa lakum. Ya forza Mustafa. All the guidance is solely from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We have nothing in it. Everything, every good that we get is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibadallah. Sufyan al-Thawri, a scholar, one of the tabi'een, he said, the hardest thing for me as a scholar, he said, to treat was my intention. Because it's continuously changing. It is continually flipping. It was the hardest thing for him to change. But we do not lose hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We do not lose our only and solely hope in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He is forgiving and He is Rahim. But we try our best to do whatever He pleases, and we ask Him to guide us his right path. On the Day of Judgment, one person will come and his name will be called in front of every human being at the time. And they will pull out for him 99 files. And they will say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will ask him, "Oh my servant, did you do such and such?" He will say, "Yes, Allah did." "Did my watchers over you, did my angels mistreated you or treated you unjustly by writing what they wrote?" "Oh Allah, they did not." Do you deserve what you got? "Oh Allah, I deserve." But then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, "Wait, we have a ticket for you. We have one little ticket for you." "What is it, Allah?" "I don't have anything. I haven't done anything. That's all I have." "No, my son. One day you said, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah," sincerely. They take that card and they put it in the scale. And that card, it will, by itself, it makes the balance goes in his favor. And he enters Jannah. It is not our actions, it is our intentions. One good intention accepted from Allah is enough to make us amongst the winners. I advise myself and advise my brothers to never underestimate, continuously work on our hearts and pass this to our children. اللهم أرنا الحق حقا وارزقنا اتباعه يا رب العالمين. لك الحمد حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيدا ويشبع أخطاءك ويحقق رحمتك. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ونبيك وصفيك محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم إنا نعوذ بك من الرياء، نعوذ بك من الكبرياء، نعوذ بك من النفاق، نعوذ بك من الشقاق وسوء الأخلاق. اللهم اهدنا لأحسن الأقوال والأفعال والأعمال والأخلاق، لا يهدي لأحسنها إلا أنت. اللهم إنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا نهلك ونكن من الخاسرين. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين. اللهم اهدنا واهد بنا واجعلنا سببا لمن اهتدى هداة مهديين غير ضالين ولا مضلين. اللهم أخلص نوايانا إليك، اللهم طهر قلوبنا من النفاق، اللهم أخلص نوايانا إليك، اللهم أخلص أعمالنا إليك، اللهم اللهم ثبت قلوبنا يا مقلب القلوب والأبصار، صرف أبصارنا إلى طاعتك، وثبت قلوبنا على دينك يا أكرم الأكرمين. اللهم فرج عن أهلنا المستضعفين في جميع بلاد المسلمين، انصرهم نصرا عزيزا مؤزرا، إنك ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. وصل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ونبيك محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. عباد الله قوموا إلى صلاتكم.